Hey everybody, welcome to the Gabbard Apiary. It is March 2nd, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's 60 degrees or so. The sun is shining bright, the bees are active. They're all over my bird feeders, and everybody else's bird feeders keeps texting me about, I've got a bee question, let me guess. So I'm going to check them today. I weighed them all yesterday. There were a couple that were a little light that I'm going to look at a little closer. But otherwise I'm just going to go through each one, give them a little pollen patty, and just kind of see how they're doing. Most of them should be pretty much broodless. I want to make sure, see how their honey stores are visually as opposed to the weight. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll bring you along. Okay, here comes hive number one. Getting a little warning. Hope you don't mind the neighbors going to town on some deadfalls at his place with his chainsaw. Nice frame of bees. There's not hardly anything on this frame. Okay, there's a patch of brood. And there's a queen. This is an F1 roofer's queen with the red dot there. Nice brood on both sides. With hive number 3, which is also known as tar paper number 4 in the Broodminder software. So, plenty of bees up top. Just gonna let them know I'm coming a little bit. We've got bees on all frames up here in the top box. So these bees are an F2, or I'm sorry, an F1 free queen from an Italian that was very calm. And they are still very calm. There's a couple of baby bees on here. Oh yeah, there's some brood. Baby bees and brood. There's our queen. The red dot on her back. So we've got about a hand-sized patch of brood on this side, and then just kind of a scattered, maybe palm-sized, maybe hand-sized patch over here. So they are beginning to brood. I'm going to put this frame back very carefully. Okay, this will be hive 7. It's a tar paper hive, tar paper number 2. This is another one that was a little bit light on honey when I weighed it yesterday. So we're going to peek and see what's actually going on. Plenty of bees up top. Let them know I'm coming a little bit. We're gonna see if they're brooding and how their honey stores really look. Bees on all frames, decent population there. And that is a patch of brood, man. This side's even better. Don't see the queen right now. Get him to move for you. That is really good. They've got some wet nectar here in the corners. I'm guessing it's probably honey that they've moved in from the outsides. Another frame of brood. There's our queen. She's getting fat. All these queens are really fattening up. So just between these two outside frames, they've got plenty of honey for a month. So I'm not worried about them. At least not right now. Alright, here comes hive number 11, which is also tar paper number 3. You can see in the back here maybe there's moisture on the inside of these flaps. Plenty of bees up there. And I don't know if you can tell, maybe if I give a little shadowy, this used to be smooth, right? But now it's kind of rough and wavy, bubbly, whatever you want to say. It's absorbed moisture over the season. You can also see the bees have started to chew at the edges a little bit. So the moisture board is absorbing moisture. This is a roofer's F1 queen in here. We've got a little honey in the corners, no brood. I'm going to check this one though. There's our brood. There's our queen. They're nice and fat, these queens. There's a nice hand-sized patch of brood there. There's probably a hand-sized patch of brood there. So okay, here's hive number 13, which is also tar paper 1. And we've got a little hitchhiker caterpillar on there. Frame of honey, here's a frame of brood. There's our queen. This is actually a Lloyd Street Virgin. The green dot that I was never able to find last year and mark red. Now of course I find her and I don't have a marker or a queen catcher, but that's okay. It's good to see her. She's got a hand-sized patch of brood. Okay, here is hive number 14, which is also hive hugger number 1. Okay, and these guys, weighed them yesterday. Supposedly, according to my spreadsheet and my tare weights, supposedly they might only have like 16 pounds of honey left. They're the lightest hive I have. So let's see how they're really doing. Looks like there's a lot of bees up here. Nice to see. Okay. Oh yeah, there's some brood in there. There's our queen. Nice fat queen. These queens are fat, and you can see the brood pattern. This brood has already hatched, and she's starting to fill in the middle of that patch again. Same on this side. There's eggs and larvae in the middle, and there's all kinds of eggs outside of it. Okay. She's a good looking queen. Okay, here comes hive number 12, which is hive hugger 2. And it looks like a few bees made it past the reflectix and died up here. Probably 24 or so. Excellent population. It's light, which hopefully means brood. There is some brood there. And let's see if there's plenty of brood here too. And here's a queen. This is a Lloyd Street virgin that got mated here. I don't know if you can tell, but she had the green dot, and I put a red dot over it, but they wore that off and the green dot remains. There again. I wanted to take a special look at number 10 because based on the broodminder data, these guys were really fluctuating with temperature. You'd almost think they were a tar paper hive. One thing I'm noticing right away is there's a lot of moisture up here on the crown, and the top cover, the inner cover, is just saturated with moisture. I don't think the other ones were like that. You can poke your hive tool in and water just oozes out. So let's see if there's anything different here. Yeah, it just smells wet. So there is a good population of bees though. There's a queen. She's got her head in a cell. And there's some patch of brood on that side. There's a very small patch of brood on this side. She's kind of a stubby queen. She's, if you can see her there with the red dot, she's on her brood. There's some open larvae here. What do I see on the next one? The next one looks like honey and a lot of open, so this might be kind of the only brood they have. Okay, here's the 3 deep, hive number 8. Fomen reflectix. Not a ton of bees under the outer cover, but let's see what's going on in here. Decent amount of bees in there. Another heavy frame. Now we're getting into a little bit of brood. So, very small patch here. Lots of honey. Another very small patch there with lots of honey. Alright, here comes hive number 6. Which is my beautiful old blue roofer's queen. It's been so good to me. She's been a very hygienic queen, very prolific queen. She's going on three or 4 seasons old now. Now there it is, a big frame of brood. That's a good, more than hand-sized patches. That's like 2 hands. That's nice to see. It would be even nicer to see the queen, old blue. We'll go over one more frame. It's funny how they don't brood centered up. There's more brood. It's even some, this is some drone brood. Big puff balls. Eggs. There's our queen. Old blue, she's a dark one. Blue dot on her. Okay, here comes hive number 2. Push this insulation down a little bit. Another hive that's showing kind of a saturated inner cover, and there's some wet green mold on the tape here, green and gray. Yeah, and lots of See, there's water that's dripped down here. But I hear bees inside. Oh yeah, bees on all frames. Now this colony has a harbo queen in it. Well, it's not exactly a harbo queen. It did come from a harbo breeder queen, but she was received as a virgin and open mated here in the Gabbard apiary. Yeah, it actually all happened kind of late in the season. I see some brood. Some pollen. Some honey in the corners. There's our queen. Her red has worn off. She is right there at the tip of my hive tool. Yeah, I think you can see her. Her red's wearing off, but she's there. She's fat. She's getting fat. So they've got her laying. Well, that's all I need to see. Okay, here comes hive number 4, which is a 3 deep styrofoam Reflectix insulation. We got some bees on top. We got lots of moisture on top and some nasty looking mold on top. Ugh. Dead bees in there. Yep. It almost looks like a bumblebee. Could be, who knows? Oh yeah, there's plenty of bees in there though. Three deep, so this is the top box. They've got a little brood right here. They've even got a bee that's emerging. I don't know if you can see, but right there is a bee that's trying to get out. She's being born right now. And there is a fresh bee that was just born probably minutes ago. She's kind of whitish. There, she's poking her head out. She's trying. See her? The little antenna are sticking out. Well, that was inspection of 15 colonies we did today. Pretty crazy for March 2nd to have that much brood going. I know they should have a little bit, but some of them really had some pretty large patches for this time of year anyways. So I'm just going to keep an eye on everybody. Keep a little bit of pollen patty going into them as they need it until these maple trees bloom, which I'm guessing will be about 2 weeks from today based on their buds. The poplars have bloomed. They've got little, they look like pussy willows, but those have bloomed, so they're getting a little bit of pollen from that, I think. But the big maple tree pollen has not hit yet. So you may have noticed in some of my other stuff, I've got 3 different wintering setups going on with the insulation. There's the black cardboard, also called tar paper. Then there's the hive hugger system, and then I've got my own homemade system of Reflectix with 1-inch polystyrene outside and then 2 inches of polystyrene on top. So, and I've got brood minders in 4 of the tar paper and 4 of the hive huggers. Those are all double deeps. So the goal this winter was to take a bunch of temperature and humidity data and see which performs better. I think it's pretty obvious that the insulated hives are going to perform better temperature and humidity wise compared to uninsulated tar paper. Now this winter was pretty warm. We had a few cold snaps, but nothing really too terrible or too long. So this winter didn't turn out to be a great method of trying to determine whether the different wintering setups had more benefits over the other. I think we did see some differences in moisture, how the moisture boards worked versus how a sealed up condensing hive worked, as far as just seeing moisture on the woodenware. Now whether it's good or bad, I'm not going to get into right now. I'm sure that it's a little bit of both, good and bad. Either way, all 15 colonies survived. That's 100% survival rate for overwintering, and I'm happy about it. So again, I'm just going to keep going and keep an eye on the bees and figure out how and when I'm going to split and what I'm going to do with all these bees. So if you're watching this and you're in Minnesota and you need some hygienic bees, I'll have some available. Alright, thanks a lot. Happy beekeeping.